Right, here we go again. Right, you can see right down that tube, look. Now, this is the pipe. Look, this is the pipe that's going to go down there. Like that there. Anyway, it sits up a bit better than that, but you can see it's got to go across there and go down into there. And I don't fancy that. Me and plumbing is not getting on very well. So I'm going to cheat. Again, I'm going to cheat. And I'm going to use this bit of brass that I've got left over from the last job I did at the other end, and I'm going to make a joining piece there so that I don't have to bend the pipe. And but this time I'm going to machine it right down so it's not so heavy, because there's quite a bulk on that. So that's the next thing. So here's me drawing for it, roughly scribbled out with some dims on. And I'm just starting to set it up. So, no wobbly camera. So, this is it on the milling machine. What I've done here, I've got my wiggler out, look. And I'm going to line that up there. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to line that up for centre. And I'm doing it this way until I think of a better way of doing it. But I've got that in there deliberately because I've got to drill 10mm down into it and then turn it at 90 degrees and drill 10mm in there. So 10mm, say there, in between the jaws, turn it 90 degrees, drill 10mm in there, and drill 8mm down the middle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line it up on here and set it so that it's central. Then I'm going to take it to the lathe and drill the 8mm down the middle, but not quite to the end, obviously, because I'm going to have to cap it this end eventually. Drill the 8mm down there, then bring it back here and drill the other two holes. So I want to drill the 8mm first so that I've got something to drill to. There'll be the stops, if you see what I mean. Because if I drill like the 10mm there first, and this one, when I drill the 8mm down the middle, I've got to judge where the end is without going right through the end. If I drill the 8mm this way first, I can come up a bit short, and the 10mm hole will make up the difference. Do you get what I mean? So that the steam will flow okay. Anyway, probably won't work, but let's go. So, look at this. I made a mistake here, look. I drilled the hole at the wrong angle. Not the wrong angle, but the wrong way. So that's got to go down into the cylinders, and then that has got to go back down from the superheater. But I drilled it there instead. So what I've done is I've drilled all the way through, and I've made a couple of bungs. A bung for the end, which I needed anyway, and then a bung for the back, which I drilled wrong. So I'm just going to put them in there. So what I'm going to do now, because this is going to take a bit of a doing, so I'm going to silver solder them in now, and then I'm going to make a fitting for from there to the cylinders, the cylinder inlet, and then I'll solder the fitting into there with remembering to put that on it, of course. I bet I don't. So I'm going to solder that and the pipe at the other side at the same time. So there, and I might even silver solder this as well with the pipe in it while I'm silver soldering. Right, nothing's fixed yet. Still playing at it, but that's not far away. Now, this is only temporary screwed down and everything. I've not silver soldered anything. Also, that looks okay there. I mean, great. It's in line and everything, and it goes straight back into the firebox. But the old whatnot that I cannot for the life of me think of the name of, but the flared bit that comes down from the chimney, it comes across there. And, ooh, you see that lines up. I mean, it's okay. I'll get away with that, but it's just gonna, it probably work, but it won't be very efficient. And I think the next owner won't thank me for doing that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and put a curve in there. So I'll turn this a bit like that, and then put a curve in there to go down there. What do you use for measuring? I generally use this 6-inch rule, steel rule from RDG Tools. When you bought something from the Model Engineers exhibition, they used to give you one of them free, but they don't do it now. And this is one of the reasons when you go to the shows, they don't seem to do many discounts or special offers. So when I've been before and I've come home and looked for stuff online, and I thought, well, it's cheaper online. And what I did was, I looked through the catalogue and I thought about one of these, because I use generally that 6-inch ruler. If I want to be more accurate, I use this. I bought this years and years ago, the normal vernier, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's accurate enough, and I use it on the lathe and everything. So it's, you know, that's okay. But well, I use that, and then if I want to be more and more accurate, I get the Mitutoyo. I get this one out anyway. And to get this one out, I have to go in home because it costs a lot of money, and I keep it indoors. Yeah, because anything I've paid a lot of money for, I don't leave it in here in case we have a break-in. I've never had a break-in yet, but these are the kind of things that can sell quickly for a drugs fix. Me better drills, I've got a DeWalt drill and Makita stuff as well, but I keep it all indoors, out of the way. But anyway, that's what I use when I want to be really accurate. And I thought what I could do with, I want to try one of these. So I got a cheap one, because I'm thinking this will be better on the lathe, because I can see it. This makes it a lot easier to see when it's at an angle, because on the lathe you can't get, you know, you can't get in line with it so well. So I'm thinking this will be easier to use. I haven't tried it out yet. That's just my theory. And plus the fact I can zero it, so I'll be able to use it that way as well. So that's that. Oh, they were about 22 quid an RDG Tools, which I expect to pay at the show. That was 11 quid from Temu, delivered within 4 days. And if they default on the delivery, you get 4 quid. And then I bought this, because it's not something I use a lot, so I didn't want to pay a lot for it. I just thought I'd try it. This is a knurling tool. And again, this was from Temu. I think this was about 13 quid. And you get basically 3 sets of wheels. 3 sets of wheels, a couple of pins, cheap Chinese. The only thing is these won't go through. I've got to open these holes out. But apart from that, we'll give that a try and see if it's any good. There, look. Probably not so clear because of the angles, etc., etc., but I'm quite happy that that pipe doesn't interfere with the flow up the chimney too much. So that'll do. So we're about there with the superheater. The reason I haven't done this bit, that's nothing to do with it. Forget that. The reason I haven't done this bit is because of my silver solder. I've got some, but it's high melting point, but I'm not sure exactly how high melting point it is. And because that's going in the firebox, I want it to be very high, obviously. So I'm waiting for the Midland exhibition, the Model Engineering exhibition. I've got my ticket. I'll be there this weekend. It's Monday today. I'll be there on Friday, I think. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. Right, look, I've been to the Midland exhibition, Midland Model Engineering Show, and I took my shopping list, and what did I get? Well, I fancy doing some thread cutting on the lathe. I haven't done thread cutting on the lathe since I left school, so I fancied that. I was going to get the equipment for that. Fishtail gauge, I didn't see one there. I couldn't find that. mills, end mills. I wanted 6 mil, and I decided I really didn't trust the quality. I didn't, to be fair, it's my own ignorance. I didn't really know what makers are good quality, and I bought stuff from there before, and it was quite cheap. So I thought, and I'll buy them online because, like, if anything else is to go by, probably cheaper anyway. I've put a very high melting point silver solder for soldering the end of this heat, this superheater, where it goes in the firebox. And I went to, is it Cup Alloys, the bloke who was selling specialises in the solder and that. And I told him what I wanted it for, and he said, oh, we don't do that anymore, we use ordinary silver solder. And I thought, really, do you? I haven't heard that before. So I thought, well, I'm not just going to buy it, I'm going to go and check that up, because it doesn't sound right. It might be right, but it doesn't sound right. I thought, it's got to be, So I didn't buy that, I just came away, left that. Junior hacksaw blades I've got on here. Well, I found some, but they're cheaper at Screwfix. For good ones, for Eclipse or Irwin, aren't they? I mean, I've got my junior hacksaw Irwin. I got that from Screwfix, and the blades are good, so I'll get them from Screwfix. Soft vice jaws. I thought I'll get some of them. They're about a £5 on the RDG website, and I couldn't find any. They hadn't got any there, so I've ordered them off Temu for £3.69. The lathe threading tools, well, they were just ridiculous. I've ordered them off Temu for 20 quid. Anyway, I'll show you them when they come. Well, what did I get? Well, I pre-ordered from Blackgates. Now, Blackgates, they're a bit old school when it comes to ordering, because they don't have order forms. You literally email them. And I emailed them and told them I'd be going to the show and told them what I wanted. And this lovely Jackie got back to me. And I ordered the stuff, and that was it. I turned up there and I went to the thing and I told them who I was, and she says, oh, I've got it here in a packet. And it was all there. Got 2 clack valves, one for just there and one for the back. I've got a set of drain cocks because, like I said, I'm going to finish it as if it was ready for steam, because the last bloke put plugs in. There's 4 plugs in the drain cock hole, so I don't know what he was expecting to do if it got into steam, but I got them. And I got some more 4BA bolts to replace the ones I'd already used. Oh, and decent quality 40 1/4x40 tap and die, so I can make some fittings. So that's what I got. What I didn't get was one of these, because I'd already got it. Said before, this I paid £11 for it at the show. I couldn't find one below 34 quid. So there. What I did do was I checked up about high temperature rods, and I got these from Halfords, £4.99 brazing rods, 650 to 750. So I'm going to have a go with them. I'm going to try. I might try and want something else first, but I'm going to try. That's the idea, to do that superheater. So that's that then. So I can start soldering and making more progress. There you go. At long last. That's the end of it, and this is the other end of it. But that's not soldered in there yet. For 2 reasons. One is I'm going to make a gasket for this, because it's going to be easier before I solder it on there. And also I want to make a connector on there for me snifter valve pipework. So that's the next thing. Almost there, but just not quite. You know what they say, measure 47 times and cut once? Well, I measured this loads, but it's just, you can't see there, but it's just come up too long again. So what I've got to do is I've got to try and bend it out a bit more there and then bend it round a bit more here, just to take up a matter of a couple of millimetres, I reckon, just to square that up. Well, I'm quite chuffed with that. I made a fit in there. I've not cleaned it up yet. Made a fit in there. This is for the snifter. And I made me little gasket. So yeah, progress. So we are about there. Well, I am. You're not, because you're sat there watching it. I've done all the work. Easy for you. I've got these two bolts started in there just to line that up, just to make sure I can get that lined up and that lined up with there. And of course, it's one thing to do it like this without the smoke box on, but then the next time I've got to do it through the smoke box, I'm guessing. This here is my snifter valve. Obviously, that's got to be trimmed and fitted to a snifter valve. And the next bit, which is missing, is this bit, which will go in there, whoops, in there, and then up to there. Obviously, but you knew that. Oh, it fell down now. So anyway, yeah, that's about the superheater done. But what I'll do now is I'll take it out and I'll tell you the story of all my cock-ups and mistakes to get there. Here we go then. First thing is a cup of tea. Thank you very much. Just hang on. Very nice too. Right. Very nice. Anyway, right. There is a saying on the workshop floor: the bloke that never made a mistake never made anything. And that's me. So this here, first of all, this very high temperature brazing that I did. The first mistake I did, and it was a genuine cock up and it was all my mistake. I was so excited about getting this brazing done that I did it and it was perfect. But what I forgot to do was to check the length of these, that they fit in there. So when I put it in, it hit the back of the firebox and it was too late. They were sticking out here. Pillock. Anyway, thankfully, I'd done the worst bit. The worst bit of it was getting this mass up to temperature to get this cap to braze on the back. These obviously these were easier, but it was difficult doing that. But I'd done that. So what I did was I chopped them off, drilled them out, and then checked the length, and then rebrazed them. And quite happy with that. Then later on, I got the length right. Then I'd bend them, and now you probably can't see this, but those two marks are where it bends up slightly to go towards the top of the firebox. And I did wonder if this would still go through that tube when I'd bent it. But it did. I just did a little bit at a time. And it doesn't actually have to go far. On the drawing, it looks like it's got quite a bend in it, but in actual fact, it doesn't have to go far. So that was that. This was, I'd already done this before, that was okay. I've had to bend that round and then bend it back again. But then I brazed this lot on, so I soldered this lot on here. During the course of brazing that on, I did it basically like that, fixed it down, and I was brazing here. And this thing, because it's top heavy, it fell off. It just fell out altogether. Right, cock. So anyway, I picked it up, stuck it back in and carried on. But when I'd done it, I suspected it might leak because it looked like it might. It didn't look like a good joint. So I put a spot of water in there, and some fairy liquid and blew it through with the airline. And sure enough, it bubbled out of there. So I fixed it more solid, held it more solid, and rebrazed it. So I'm quite happy with that now. And then it was a matter of tweaking it to fit, because although it was the right length and everything, this wasn't quite lined. This face wasn't quite in line with that face, so I had to tweak that. then it wouldn't line up with the bolt holes, so I had to tweak it sideways. And then because I'd heated this, every time I heat this, it seems to try and straighten out a bit. So I've heated it the first time, then I tweaked it so it fitted, and then I had to rebraze this. Then I went to fit it again. It had straightened up a bit, so I had to do it again. But only minor tweaks, so it wasn't too bad. So it was a lot of work, a lot of hassle, but we sort of got there. And I think I'm getting to the point where I might consult my brother-in-law, who's a plumber, and ask him to come and do some fun plumbing with me, because I've got a feeling that this isn't going to go all right. I get a feeling of impending doom. But I'll give it a go. I'll carry on. But if I get stuck, I will give him a call. See, that easily goes down there now. And fits in there. Of course, I'm going to have to do that through the smoke box next time. But now what I want to do, thinking about what to do next. Obviously, I know what I've got to do, but I'm wondering in what order to do it. What I would like to do is to do that bit. I'd like to get that blower sorted. And once I've got that sorted, I'd like to plug it and put some pressure in it. I think I'd like to get there before I finish off with the other plumbing, just to get to the point where I can get some pressure in the boiler and check that this is not leaking and that's not leaking, so that I'm not going all the way through it and then having to come back to redo it and take the boiler off. So I don't know yet, we'll see. Watch this space, but this will be the end of episode 12, I think, and then we'll call it Unlucky 13. Anyway, thanks for watching all these, and I hope you're learning something. Feel free to comment constructively. If you start insulting me, I'll just wipe the comments off. Anyway, all right, back to my tea then.